Welcome to the Fan Cave Podcast. This is your host, Dylan Bluedorn, aka Blue. To my right, your left, we got Landon the man with so much Southern charm, he doesn't know what to do with it. And to my right, to your left, we have debomills, aka Dylan Bosch, the man, the myth, the legend, light skin champion. You know what it is. Let's get ready to go, fellas. How we doing, boys? How we doing?
What's happening, boys?
Doing good. Ready to get started. Let's do it.
Hey, no, I'm pumped, man. I know when us three kind of came together to talk about what we're going to do for this podcast, I got super hyped. I'm like, I got two awesome guys who know a lot about sports and are not afraid to take a hot take here and there. So I think we just hop right into it.
We got plenty of hot takes.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely, boys. I'm hyped. All right, so for our first story of the day, I think we get right into it. Who do you think is going to have a more successful year one? Lincoln Riley at USC or Brian Kelly at LSU? What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to have the bigger year one impact coming into the year?
Debo, what?
I'm going to go ahead and say USC. I'm going to go ahead and say Lincoln Riley USC.
Why USC, Debo?
I think that's a way easier conference. Easier conference than the SEC. So
you don't believe in Brian Kelly or what?
I mean, he's gonna have to play Bama. He's gonna have to play Georgia. They just have a way tougher schedule opponents. Like overall, like strength of schedule. I feel like they're gonna have to do a lot more to be successful.
I feel that. Landon, how about you?
Yeah, I got to go USC too. I really wanted to say LSU because I'm very SEC biased. But man, like you understand. Like LSU, they've had to rebuild everything. Now, both, you understand, I don't think either one of them is going to have a very successful season. Maybe a bowl game is really good for both the schools. Because both these schools are coming off really bad years, especially USC. USC hasn't done anything in a very long time. LSU won the championship a couple of years ago, but no one from that team is back. We saw one of their quarterbacks recently a few days ago. He walked away. He grabbed some NIL money and got out, But that's the thing, man, is like, you look at it now, I want to say USC solely because the quarterback position is so much better than the one at LSU. Caleb Williams is a really, really good quarterback, and Lincoln Riley, he knows what he wants to do. Now, is he going to be able to do that year one? We got to find out. But if I had to pick, you got to go USC.
Yeah, definitely. My only knock on USC, though, yes, they got all the transfers. Yes, they got everything going in their way. They have all the momentum. Yeah. They're already rated top 15, top 20 already team. But Lincoln Riley brought the same defensive coordinator from Oklahoma to LSU, Alex Grinch. They had one of the worst defenses in college football. And what's going to change? There ain't nothing going to change. It's still going to be Oklahoma's defense. And I don't know. We'll see. I think Oregon's going to smoke them, but we'll see. But we'll get into that later. But I don't know. I think USC will be a better football team because I think LSU is going to be – it's going to take a while to get used to running into Bama and all the boys.
Yeah.
But I think USC is going to be a better team. But I think it's not going to be as easy and as fairy tale ending as you guys think it's going to be year one. So
definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. Next question. Who's going to come out of the Big 12? Texas, Oklahoma, both with new head coaches, or the field? Debo, what do you think?
What does the field mean? What does that mean?
Like the rest of the Big 12, Baylor. Like you got Texas, Oklahoma, or the rest of the Big 12. Is there going to be a dark horse coming out of there? I personally think Baylor's going to be that dark horse. I really do. Who do you think, Debo?
A lot of people are going to pick Baylor, because of the performance last year in the Big 12 championship game. They were really, really good. Beat a good Oklahoma State team. I don't know, man. I just think teams like that have a really good year. Next year, they underperform. And some teams aren't used to high expectations, and they finally get them. It's just not as easy. But there's a school who has a pretty good football history, who is used to success, and I'm going to go with Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I think, Dylan Gabriel, the transfer from UCF, I think he's a really good quarterback. They got a really good coach. And I think people were kind of thrown off as soon as Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler, Lincoln Riley got out. They have a lot of good transfers. And sometimes the experience and the tradition of winning is just as important than having some hype. So Texas, I think Texas needs one more year. Give them one more year to get some of these skill players going and to really get used to this. And they can make a run at the Big 12, before they get to the SEC and they don't, win a conference game. But we'll get to that later. But, yeah, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma, you got to go with them. The field, outside of Baylor, I don't see anybody else in the field that can really make a run at it. No, I think Oklahoma, Texas. I think it's Oklahoma or Baylor. I don't even put Texas in the question.
Yeah.
Texas got that boy Quinn Ewers. And then they got Arch coming in the next couple of years.
We ain't worried about the future. We're worried about this year, though, Big D. Come on.
Hey, I don't know, bro. I think Quinn Ewers might make some noise out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
We can learn how to set his feet the way it looks. Somebody talks about how he did set his feet.
Don't worry. He'll get behind some big boys up there at Texas. He'll be good.
Probably the best hair in college football.
Yeah, that mullet power. Yeah,
this guy. We'll take that later. Yeah. But I think that's a pretty good take.
Absolutely, man. All right, so who I think Baylor's going to come out. I think Dave Aranda's going to have his boys rocking and rolling. I think they're going to be the dark horse. I think they are the most complete team because I think Oklahoma's defense is going to need a couple of years. I think Alex Grinch is a joke. You heard it here first. And I think Sark's going to need a couple of years. I think every sports show in America is picking Texas to be that non-top 25 team to get into the top 10. Everybody's high on them. Everybody's talking about them. I think the hype's going to be too much for Texas. I think they're going to be what? I mean, probably like typical years to get used to. But I will say this, though. Brent Venables today, I don't know if you guys have been on social media much today. When he walked in, the video of him walking into his practice facility, and he gave a pretty good little speech about it, a motivational speech about how the things are going, and he got me hyped up. He had me rocking. Brent Venables is like the father that we all wish we had. He is an absolute. He is fired up, man. I like Brent Venables, so I think Texas is going to be worst out of that. I think Oklahoma is going to beat Texas in the Red River rivalry, but I do think Baylor is going to come out of the Big 12.
I like it.
That's what I think. All right.
Okay,
the next question. What is the worst conference in college football this year? What do you think the worst conference is going to be this year? Landon, you go first.
Man. Okay. So we all know the SEC and Big Ten are not even in the topic right now.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the Big 12, Pac-12, or ACC. When I look at the Big 12, I see a lot of newer teams that are coming up. So honestly, we have no idea what to expect out of some teams. Like Oregon. Oregon give you a good team. Bring back a whole line and a new transfer quarterback. The Pac-12, I like the Pac-12 a lot. But the Big 12, they have a few teams that we think can win, who can make it to the playoffs. I have to go ACC because outside of Clemson and Wake Forest, who do you think is competitive? Like, who do you think could actually win a road game against an SEC school? I don't know. Maybe Pitt down the road. They have the quarterback from USC as a transfer, and they look great. But outside of that, I don't see a team that's just really good. I think that the ACC has the least good teams, so I got to go with them.
100%. Yeah. I couldn't agree with that more. 100%. No, real talk. Yeah, ACC is, besides Clemson, they're just not there.
You don't think Boston College is going to get it done this year, or what?
Hold up. You don't like Wake Forest?
If they recruit Luke Kuechly to come back and play.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Matt Ryan coming back at 8.
You don't like Wake Forest, Debo?
I mean, I feel like they're just there for a grade point average.
Bro, wait, hold up. Wake Forest?
So they're basketball school. They got Chris Paul as their alumni.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know, man. Look at they got an easy schedule. That's the only thing that gets me is that now they have their quarterback. He can be a dark horse for Heisman. He was in it last year, Sam Hartman. He's really, really good. Now, lost a few cheap games. Should have been in the AC Championship. But, that's the thing, man, is they got a really easy schedule. The only hard road game I'm looking at is they have to go to NC State, who's ranked 13th. But outside of that, I really don't see anybody else. Depending on how the defense shapes up, I think the offense is fine. But defensively, I think they're the second best team in the ACC, and I think they can beat Clemson at home. But
what do you guys think about Florida State? I mean, they obviously their week 0 game, they absolutely blew. I don't remember who they played, like Duke Kents or something. They blew them out of the water.
Yeah,
I think Florida State. I don't know how I feel about them. I think they're in the right direction, but they got a long ways to go. North Carolina, they got Mac Brown, legendary coach Mac Brown. We'll see. Landon's shaking his head. You don't think UNC, they're a basketball school. I know you're a Duke guy in basketball. We're not talking about the hardwood. We're talking about the pigskin, all right? Don't calm that down right now.
A team with, 30 players? And couldn't blow them out.
Right.
They were like 18, literally.
But anyway, who I think the worst conference is in college football, it's between the Pac-12 and the ACC. I think we all are in agreement of that. I think the Big Ten and SEC are definitely the two strongest ones. I think they're going to be the two power conferences from here on out. Big 12, their upside, even their lowest teams, and excluding Kansas because Kansas is garbage. But you could put Kansas the same thing as Vanderbilt and the rest of them. Although Kansas did beat, did Kansas beat Texas or Oklahoma?
They beat Texas and had a close game with Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they beat Texas.
Very close game with Oklahoma.
Yeah, right. And then they beat them. So, I mean, they're not that bad. But I have to agree with you. But I'll tell you what, though, the bottom of the Pac-12 is garbage. I'm in Arizona right now, and, I mean, ASU, U of A, but U of A is garbage. They're horrible. U of A is horrible. They're so bad. And I'm fearing the fork, and I'm doing the thing, but man, U of A is garbage. I think, but I do think though the ACC is the worst conference in college football. But I think Pac-12 is right there behind it, outside of USC, who's leaving, UCLA is leaving, Oregon, Washington's absolutely falling off. I think they're not since Sarkisian left. They're not the same team. But I do think ACC is the worst team in college football.
So, but back to this Wake Forest thing. Last year, Wake Forest is ranked 22 to start this year. Clemson's 4. Last year, when Wake Forest played Clemson, Wake Forest was 15. Clemson was ranked 14. They got dog walked by 20-something points.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a huge drop off from Clemson to the rest of the conference. It's just weird.
I don't know, man. The thing is if a game like that is being played, where teams are even, I think it's pretty even this year in the ACC. Obviously, Clemson gets the edge because they're Clemson. When you got Dabo Swinney, you're bringing back a quarterback for the third straight year. They have a good team. Here's the thing, though. I got to go with who do I think is the better quarterback? Okay, DJ or Sam Hartman?
That's what I was going to ask you.
I think it's Sam Hartman. I think he's a better passer, 100%. You think he's a better passer?
Well, I was gonna ask you a question. Do you think that Clemson overall as a team, do you think the team is a weaker link, or do you think the weak link is DJ?
Well, last year's the offensive line. The offensive line was terrible. And so here's the thing is, I think DJ is a good quarterback.
Okay.
It's just his first year, man, he looked great. Last year, I think he was ready. I think he was ready to have a good year. Remember, he was a big favorite. He was third Heisman favorite. So people thought he was going to break out. But man,
so does Spencer Rattler.
If you ain't got the big boys up front, you can't do it. I think there's just no way. He had no time to pass last year. There's a lot of games he looked rattled. The NC State game was bad. There's a lot of games I watched him where he did not look like – they didn't like Clemson last year. Now, I could be wrong. I don't care to be wrong on the ACC. But I'm telling you, man, Clemson, they're going to have to show me that they're still that team. Because Georgia and Bama hasn't had a season like they had last year in a while. You haven't seen a year where Bama went, lost 4 games in a season?
Yeah.
Not just
it's been a long time. Yeah.
They haven't had that, that Clemson season they had last year. So I think Clemson's going to bounce back. Is it this year? I don't know. If not, look for next year. Then to be really good, especially if DJ comes back for another year. But this year, I got to go with who I think the better quarterback is, and I got to go with Sam Hartman.
Yeah. All right. Well, that ties in perfectly to our next question, our next segment, we're going to go ahead and pick who we think is going to be our conference champions this year, our preseason conference champions. We'll go ahead and start with Landon. Go ahead and give me your 5 conference champions.
Yeah, we can go ahead and skip the part when we talk about the SEC or Big Ten. Because if anyone is not picking Bama and Ohio State, go home. Stop talking about sports. I mean, maybe you could do Georgia, but at the end of the day, motivated Bama teams, like revenge tours, typically don't lose. Okay? I got to go Bama with Bryce Young back. They had the best offensive and defensive player in the country. Bringing a lot of pieces back. They probably did the best out of any team with the transfer portal. Bringing in Eli Ricks, a really, really good corner. Bringing in Jamar Gibbs. Got 2 good receivers, Jermaine Burton and Tyler Harrell. I mean, Bama, I think they reloaded better than anybody else does. The second team is, I think Bama's better, but they're in reach distance. Ohio State's got to win the Big Ten. I don't think Michigan, their biggest competition last year was Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan State lost their running back. He was a dog. Michigan, it kind of feels like from what Jim Harbaugh has said, he's still trying to figure it out. Week 1 and 2, they're doing quarterback battles. So they don't know who the quarterback is. So I don't know if they can compete with Ohio State. Now, Ohio State, I mean, you got C.J. Stroud with a good O-line and some very talented receivers around him. Ohio State looks scary. They're the only team in the country that I think if they play Alabama, I'm sitting back going, this is gonna be nervous. The game, I think it's gonna be fine. Now the actual picks. Big 12, like I already said, I gotta go Oklahoma. Oklahoma or Baylor, that was the toss-up. And honestly, when I think about it, it's probably more 50-50. I gotta go Oklahoma, just because of the tradition, I mean, Baylor, when's the last time Baylor was elite? RG3? But they haven't had a really, really good team in a while, besides last year. But I mean, they are coming off, a Big 12 championship, but I'm going to Oklahoma. Pac-12, I'm going to do the safe bet. I'm going to go Utah. Utah's great back quarterback. They gave Ohio State a really good game last year in the Rose Bowl. Probably one of the best games. It's a shootout. Really fun game to watch. I mean, when you bring back a quarterback like that, typically they don't have a good year, but I'm going to give it to them. I think in a weak conference like the Pac-12, playing against, who's their competition? That's my biggest question, is because Washington playing at midnight in the Pac-12 is not going to scare me. It shouldn't scare Utah fans either. Okay? And the last pick, I mean, I do want to pick Clemson. Devo, I promise you, I want to pick Clemson. I do. I just can't. I think Sam Hartman's a really good quarterback. And I think last year he was really, really good. But this year, I think he's got a really good opportunity to do something special. I could be wrong. We could be sitting here in a couple months, and Wake Forest could be sitting here at 2-7, and I could look stupid. But I'm still gonna pick him. I think Sam Hartman is, and I'm gonna stream record this clip too, because if they win the ACC, I'm bringing this clip up. I'm gonna have Dylan Little checking his head. It's gonna be great.
There is something wrong in the water in Alabama this morning, because if you think that Wake Forest is beating Clemson, we'll see. We'll see, brother. We'll see. Okay. Debo, who you got?
So for Big Ten, we got Ohio State.
Of course.
I don't think CJ Stroud's like that. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Was quarterbacks or receivers coach Zach Smith? Is that his name? That got in trouble. He was under Urban Meyer's staff. He got in trouble for he does a podcast with Jason Brown from Last Chance U, and he said he kind of broke down what all the quarterbacks for the past 5-6 seasons, what their strengths and their weaknesses were, and he said CJ Stroud is just kind of he's just way too nonchalant about things. He doesn't have that sense of urgency to get things done. So I'm picking Ohio State. I don't know how strongly I stand behind that. Big 12, we got USC. We're going to have to go there. I think Lincoln Riley might do some things over there. Kind of excited to see that. Clemson, our ACC, I have to go Clemson. I don't know what this Sam Hartman Wake Forest thinks about, but we're just going to have to go ahead and go Clemson.
I can't even say who Sam Hartman is.
Yeah, for real. Sam Carhart? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, right.
Pac-12, I got Oregon. Not really too familiar with the Pac-12 this year, so that one's just kind of going off a whim. And then SEC, I mean, you already know you got to go Bama. Bama's just kind of Bama's loaded, bro.
Absolutely.
Plug this laptop in.
Can I say something really quick?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna plug this laptop in real quick so the stream does not end.
All right, you're good. I'll go ahead and. Are we still live? Are we still live? We're still live. I think we're live. Anyway, I'll go ahead and give mine since Debo decided to take a piss break or something quick. All right, So I got with the Big Ten, Ohio State. I mean, that just goes as it is. I do think C.J. Stroud's a little overrated. I think everybody's hyping him up a little over Bryce Young, which I don't agree with. We'll get into that later, but I think Ohio State is good enough to get past the Big Ten field. Welcome back, Debo.
Thanks, bro.
Hope you had a nice piss. Anyway, so the Big 12. I don't really like I like first-year head coaches, but I think Oklahoma and Texas both are going to have a little bit of figuring out. It starts the first year, I think, right? Am I crazy, or it's his first year, right? Or second year? I'm losing my mind.
At Texas?
Yeah.
This is second
year. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, same deal though. But I think Brent Venables needs a year. He fires me up every day, but I do think that he is not going to quite get her done. I got Dave Aranda. I got the guy with experience. Baylor coming out of the Big 12 for sure. SEC. I mean, we all can agree that Nick Saban ain't going to lose to no Texas A&M. Sorry, Jimbo Fisher. You can get mad all you want in the offseason about recruiting. He called you out, and guess what? You're still getting beat by 35. Doesn't matter. Alabama's going to steamroll them. They don't even got to worry about it. Pac-12. This one's interesting.
Are you going with your guy?
You got USC, who, I mean, the big, bright program, big change. But I do think there's one game on the USC schedule that I think they're going to really struggle with. I think Notre Dame's going to smoke them. I think Notre Dame's going to beat them bad. And I also think Utah's going to beat them.
Yeah.
And then I look at the Utah schedule, and their non-conference toughest opponent is Florida, who I think's down. I think they're way down. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Utah Utes to come out of the Pac-12.
Let's go.
Bro. I'm special. I meant to say Texas for Big 12 and USC for Pac-12. Sorry. Just had to throw that in there.
Texas. Oh, you picked Texas?
Yeah, I wrote it down wrong, so I read it.
Our chance there, yeah, right?
Yeah, I do,
Yeah.
but hey.
Wait, but how are they gonna win it? In week 2, they're gonna get.
Don't worry about it.
Bro. Week 2, they're getting smoked, Devo. You got to think about non-conference opponents here. You know they play week 2?
Bama?
They play God himself coming down
at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning.
I mean,
they're gonna wake up early to get stomped.
Dude.
I mean, I like it. If you want to go,
I get that, but I don't think anyone. I mean, you think Baylor?
You're picking it off height, Devo.
What you pick? Who'd you say? Who'd you say?
For what?
I said Baylor.
Baylor out of the Big 12. I think Dave Aranda. I think he has a chance of winning Coach of the Year this year. I'm very high on Dave Aranda. Very high.
Do they? I guess.
And then my ACC champion.
He's not confident, but he picked it. He was not confident in it, but he picked it.
No.
I
do come back and Texas actually
wins
it.
Bro, Quinn Ewers is kind of that dude. Baylor.
Where did Quinn Ewers play high school football if you're so high on Quinn Ewers?
I don't know the name of the school, but it was Texas.
It was in Texas. I'll give you that.
I don't know the name of the school. It was I want to say it was a green school.
I don't know. All I know is they were the Dragons and they wore green uniforms. That's all I really remember.
Where was he at before Texas?
Ohio State.
Okay, just making sure.
He committed early.
Oh yeah.
He's still a freshman because he went there early. All right, the next part of the show.
You saw Justin Fields kind of transfer and ball out somewhere else. Why can't he do it?
True. Joe Burrow did it too, but
Yeah, exactly. I think
Oh
that's
no, it
kind
can
of.
happen. Yeah, it definitely can happen. All right. Next segment is now we covered our conference winners per season. We're gonna get into who is our picks for the college football playoff. Landon, who you got? Who are your 4 teams?
4 teams, 1 seed, you gotta go Alabama. I think they're gonna
Yeah, of course.
2 slot, you gotta go Ohio State. Obviously, we got to throw our conference picks in there. So I really think that Oklahoma is gonna get in. I think my 4 team is gonna be Utah. So yeah, Bama playing a Pac-12 team. We know what happened a few years ago when they played Washington first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, Jake Browning.
Didn't go. Yeah, Jake Browning didn't go well.
Got bent over and
Ohio State
yeah.
in the championship. I think Ohio State. Oklahoma has a really. I think it's a close game. I do. I think Indiana Ohio State wins. Alabama Ohio State, and I gotta. First of all, Alabama guy, so I gotta pick Bama. But I just don't see how you can pick Ohio State. Like, I get it. If you do, that's fine. But what does Ohio State have over Bama? It's not the quarterback position.
This year,
Definitely
I agree with you. This year, I agree with you 100%.
They don't have. They just don't have. Sometimes, at least, they have like the D line or something that's over Bama. This year, I don't know a slot that Alabama doesn't have for Ohio State. Yeah, I'm going with Roll Tide. So, what you got?
I pretty much have all the same top 3, except I'm not throwing Utah in there. I don't know how that got in there, but I'm probably gonna have to go.
They're undefeated in the ACC.
What?
Hardest conference game is Florida. Utah could go undefeated if they're consistent. If that defense is consistent, they can do it.
Okay, I feel you. You didn't put Clemson. You didn't put Clemson in there. You said
No, he's got Wake Forest beating him.
Wake Forest is beating them. Hey, you think Clemson's going to get him with 4 losses?
He's got Wake Forest beating him.
Bro, this guy, bro.
He's got Boston College beating him in a
Oh.
Okay, listen to this. First of all, Sam Hartman was tied 5th in touchdowns last year. He had 39. Threw for over 4,000 yards. Okay? Before you all start, Sam Carhart, before you disrespect him.
Sam Carhart.
Okay? Listen to their schedule. They're playing VMI this weekend. You know their first road game is? Oh, God, they have to go to Vandy. Those poor souls. I can't imagine it. Okay? After that, do you know who their only ranked road game is?
No.
At NC State. They're hosting
number 13 in the country or something like that, aren't they?
They're hosting North Carolina. They're hosting Clemson. I mean, they're hosting. Yeah, they're 13. NC State's 13. They're hosting all these good teams. If they can beat NC State on the road, then you have a chance to beat. And they get Clemson 4th game of the year at home early. Those are trap games for good teams. Really good teams. Those are 100% trap games. Last year we saw Bama go to Florida. It was blowing them out. End up, Florida had a chance to come back and tie it up at the end. And Florida wasn't a great team, but because that environment was so good, if Wake Forest is rocking a couple weeks from now, you might see Clemson's first loss. So I got Wake Forest win the ACC, but my playoffs.
Winston-Salem's going to be rocking.
Wake Forest is going to be rocking.
The Wake Forest Demon Deacons coming down.
Wake Forest is going to be rocking. You heard it here from me.
Yeah, okay.
Sam Hartman he ended the season with 4 interceptions against Pitt last year. Oh, that's not good.
It's either bad. Hey, look at Joe Burrow's bowl game before his Heisman year.
He about died. He about got killed.
Yeah, he did. Now, hold up. Now, I want to say this. Sam Hartman is not Joe Burrow. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. He is nowhere near Joe Burrow. So
why do I feel like I'm going to see a graphic of Sam Hartman's uniform and a Joe Burrow – or no, Joe Burrow like body of Landon's going to post social media of a Sam Hartman head on a Joe Burrow uniform. I feel like that's coming for sure. Anyway.
That's clickbait. I'm going to say Sam Hartman is Joe Burrow.
Yeah, right.
Last year, they ended up only playing 2 teams that ended up being ranked, and in both of those games, he threw a pretty good amount of interceptions.
Yeah. There's some tutties, too.
Huh?
There's some tutties, too. But they took care of teams. In a conference like the ACC, you had a chance, but they were in those games. Besides the Clemson game, they were in those games, okay? Teams who can take care of these average teams, that's the difference. You got to be able to beat these average teams in your conference, like the Bamas and the Georgias. The reason why they've been so good is because these games that are like at Ole Miss, these trap games, they somehow find a way to win. And that's how you get the playoffs. Is you got to beat your conference. Listen, if you lose a non-conference game, that's okay. Ohio State, if they beat Michigan last year and take care of their conference, they get in. Only one loss to Oregon, which is a non-conference, they still get in. Yeah. See this: if Notre Dame loses week 1 to Ohio State, but it's a close game and win the rest of the year, do they get in?
I hope not.
No. They're losing to Clemson. They're losing to Clemson after that.
But if they beat everyone else in their schedule, if they beat the USC, and their only loss is a close game to Ohio State in week 1, are you going to leave Notre Dame out and put in like a 2-loss Oklahoma?
I think it's just going to show how soft the entire like Power 5 was this year if that happens.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. Is that who's their tough games? Army. I mean, it's that you got to take care of these mediocre teams. And that's how you get in. But yeah, who y'all got for your playoffs?
All right, you guys are gonna hate mine, but
Nebraska.
I better not hate it. Nebraska,
Number 1,
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota beating Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Here we go. Roll the ball, BJ Fleck. Woo! No, I'm just kidding. But
run through a wall for that man.
We all know if they lose, then the world's gonna end. We got Alabama number 1. That's just what it is. Ohio State. I'm not a big Ohio State guy, but I got the number 2. Number 3, because their schedule is garbage and their conference is garbage, I got the Utah Utes being undefeated going into the 3 spot.
You guys both have Utah? That's
they got to beat
crazy.
USC and they're in. They got to beat USC and they're in.
That's crazy.
Oregon, I guess, but. Number 4, because I think Notre Dame has 3 tough games. They got Ohio State, USC, and Clemson to beat. I don't see them winning 2 out of 3 of those games. I don't see that happening. So Notre Dame's out. They're gone.
Okay. Clemson,
I think, is going to lose to Notre Dame. I think that's the one game they're going to win is they're going to beat Clemson.
You think that?
I think Notre Dame's going to beat Clemson. So I think Clemson is going to have 1 too many losses. They're out on the 4 spot. Leaving the Big 12 champions, Baylor Bears, to get in for the 4 seed and then get blown out by the Alabama Crimson Tide in the first round of the college football playoff. I'm high on Dave Aranda this year, boys. I'm fired up. I'm ready. The Bears in Waco. Waco's going to wake up this year. Here we go, boys.
Oh, man.
That scares me, though, is teams who have a good season and they play in a bowl game, they produce and do well. Usually they don't – I mean, they beat Ole Miss, who had a really good offense and slowed them down. Yeah. You know, Matt Corral was a Heisman favorite, and they played him great. So I liked it. I do like that pick a lot. But those teams usually don't pan out the next year, you know?
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, if they pan out, they do really, really, really good. Right. So I can see that. Yeah. Debo, what you
got? Well, like I said, I had the same 3 as you, except I'm not putting Utah in there. I'm going to have to go ahead and I'm going to have to throw – bro, I don't know. I think DJ Ungalala, however you say his name.
DJ Ukulele, something like that.
Hey, I think he's kind of the truth. I think he might be able to put Clemson in there at that 4 spot. I don't know. I honestly don't know how Clemson's going to do, man. I think they kind of lost some firepower over the last couple of years.
So you think you got Bama, 1, Ohio State 2.
Yep.
You got Clemson at 4.
Yeah.
Who's your 3?
So none of us have Notre Dame in there. I like that, boys. Those three tough games are going to be so tough for them.
I forgot who'd you put at 3, Landon?
3, I have Oklahoma. He has Baylor.
I was going to swap Clemson and Oklahoma. Swap those 2. Swap
you have Clemson 3 and then Oklahoma 4.
Oklahoma or Texas?
Wait, did you pick Texas to win your conference and Oklahoma to be your 4? How's that work?
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
Didn't you say you had Texas winning the Big 12?
You have Texas winning it, right?
The Big 12?
Yes.
So how do you have
Texas playoffs, right?
No.
You can't have both, brother.
No, I get that. Well, first of all, I wrote my notes down wrong at first. That's why I had that. But I had them written down wrong. I don't know, bro.
Texas and Bama rematch.
Yeah.
In the playoff. Playoff rematch. I thought would be so fun. I just want to get
Actually, bro.
The Oklahoma Georgia game a couple years ago with Baker. That was such a fun game. Remember the Rose Bowl a couple years ago?
I got Oklahoma. I got Oklahoma winning Big 12, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He came to his senses.
He's like that. He's like that, but the rest of his team, I don't know.
Dylan Gabriel's that guy.
Oh, yeah?
I think he's going to be good.
Like Sam Hartman?
Sam Hartman.
Exactly. It's like Sam Carhart.
Sam Carhart. That's his nickname,
Carhart.
bro. That's his nickname.
Let's get to the best part of the show.
Absolutely.
I have for you guys my locks of the week. I got a 3-team parlay. Looking at the games, what I think is going to be a lock. Obviously, I wanted to do Bama 35.5. People are like, they have Utah State at home. Okay, it's dropped 35. I think the only reason I didn't put it in the parlay is because it's probably going to go up. You're probably going to see it get to the 42 or 41 range for the lot. So I don't know, man. I went ahead and started off with Arkansas, Cincinnati. Arkansas is a 6.5-point favorite. Arkansas is bringing back KJ Jefferson. They got some really, really good receivers. They got some good transfers. I like Arkansas. Cincinnati's having to close that hole with Desmond Ridder, who's in Sauce Gardner. They have a lot of pieces missing. And don't forget, Arkansas can run the ball. What happened to Cincinnati last year in that college football playoff game against Alabama? Bama took Brian Robertson and ran it down their throat. They had almost over 200 rushing yards. I mean, 6.5 points, that's not a lot for Arkansas, had a shootout against Alabama. So depending on how they play the game, I got Arkansas the first one, 6.5. My second one, Ole Miss and Troy. Last year, first game of the year, Ole Miss came out firing, man. They're going to score a lot of points. That's just how this team is. That's Lane Kiffin's offense. They're going to come out. They're not going to punt. They're going to go, 100% every single time. They're going to air raid. You're going to see a lot of trickery. But Ole Miss playing Troy, 21.5 points is not a lot. If it slides down to 21, you got to take it then. So the first game, 6.5, Arkansas. Ole Miss, 21.5. Then I got Utah and Florida. Utah, who was a really good team. The last time we saw them on the football field, played a really good game with Ohio State. Should have won. The offense got slow in the second half. And you're going to tell me a Florida team who's lost everybody? They are bringing back a really good quarterback. I'll give them that. But outside of that, they've lost everybody. A new coach. I think it's going to take a couple of years for them to really get their guys going in there at Florida. So I got those three. Ole Miss, 21.5, Utah, 2.5, and Arkansas covers 6.5. One game I also like, too, I really liked West Virginia to cover 7 points against Pitt.
You think?
I know it's
okay, cover. Yeah, they're going to win outright. Like, what?
I know it's at Pitt, okay? Pitt just got a really good quarterback. The quarterback from USC, he's transferred over to Pittsburgh, okay? They got some good receivers, too. But losing Jordan Addison, that wasn't good. Losing Kenny Pickett, who was a dog, okay? Losing those guys, I don't know. I like West Virginia. West Virginia's bringing in the coach. A.T. Daniels, Georgia. He's now at West Virginia. The coach has come out West Virginia and said J.T. Daniels is the best quarterback West Virginia has ever had. So I like them covering 7-2 if you're just going to straight up bet. Straight up bet. I got West Virginia cover 7.5. My parlay is Arkansas 6.5, Ole Miss 21.5, and Utah 2.5. There you go, boys.
There you go. Thank you, Landon. That's awesome, man. For Landon's locks of the week, I'm looking forward to what you got next week. And I'm looking forward to putting all the money on Landon's locks of the week. All right. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit here for the next part of the show. We're going to dive into the world of fantasy football for the next of this. So here we go. We're going to do a little game that everybody knows about. It's called Would You Rather? What we're going to do with fantasy players. We're going to put up two different players in the same position, I'm going to see what you guys think. Who you'd rather go with if you're on the clock right now, and who you're picking. All right, number 1 for your running back 2 slot, James Conner from Arizona or David Montgomery of the Bears. Debo, who are you taking first?
I'm probably gonna have to go with James Conner, bro. He fits that offense really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Conner for sure.
How about you? How about you, Lando?
Hold up. Can I get a question?
Is this a PPR league?
PPR league. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, who does James Conner play for?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals, baby.
Who does Dave Montgomery play for?
The Chicago Bears.
Okay, let me think. Yeah, I'm not picking anybody on the Bears offense. I'd rather put a kicker in there than put David Montgomery in there. A running back for the worst O-line in the NFL? Yeah, I'll take James Conner.
There we go. I like it, boys. I like it.
Slander begin.
The second one, we're sticking with the running backs here. Christian, I can't make it through a season, McCaffrey,
Oh,
or
Or
Austin Eckler. Landon, who you got? Oh, wait, no. I picked my pick. Hold on. My pick, I'm going James Conner, 100% over David Montgomery. Now go ahead, Lando.
This is easy. Austin Eckler. I think with this Charger offense now, good receivers. Mike Williams is really good. Keenan Allen's a really good receiver. They have a lot of good weapons. At the end of the day, man, for you to be elite in the league now, you got to have somewhat of a running game. I really do believe that. I think Austin Eckler, out of the backfield, catching passes, I think he's going to be good because secondaries, you got to worry about 2 deep threats, and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, right? 2 really, really good receivers. And then you got Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield. With him running and catching passes, I got to go with him. Christian McCaffrey can do everything. I'm really curious to see how him and Baker would work together. So, I don't know. I think with the injury safety, you got to go with the safest pick. And got to go Austin Eckler. I think you're going to get the best value out of him because most people are going to put Christian McCaffrey very high up there. The risk and reward isn't there. It depends on who you are. If you're all in for the risk, go Christian McCaffrey. Because, dude, he has potential to be the best fantasy player when healthy. When he's healthy, playing the whole season, probably the best fantasy player there is. Am I right? He was a 9 overall player in Madden. He's a dog until the past few years when he had injuries. So healthy, Christian McCaffrey. But straight up, I got to go Austin Eckler.
Fair enough. He's bringing Madden into his picks. We're getting really deep. We're getting really deep now. We're going virtual in this thing right now.
He's got a good point. I agree. Austin Eckler for sure. Don't get me wrong. The Panthers have few offensive weapons, but the Chargers have so many offensive weapons that I feel like Eckler is going to be probably like the second, if not third person game planned against. Like you got to worry about Keenan Allen. You got to worry about Herbert. You got to worry about Mike Williams. You got to worry. Didn't they pick up Eric Ebron too? Pretty sure they picked up Eric Ebron.
The whole NFL's gonna be a
That's
Charger.
what I'm saying, dude. They have so many weapons that I feel like Eckler is gonna. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a great route runner. He can run the ball. I don't know. I think Eckler is definitely more durable. He doesn't have to take near as much of a workload as McCaffrey does. McCaffrey's like their entire team, literally.
Yeah, no doubt. Debo?
Yeah.
What do my favorite players usually like in all sports?
What do you mean? Scrappy, lunch pail guys, Scrappy, high motor, high IQ.
Out of these two, which one fits that description a little bit better?
So you're gonna go Christian McCaffrey.
Which one do you think fits a little bit better? Out of these two, which one do you think fits?
I'm gonna go ahead and say
athletic.
Eckler is basically halfway there. If you think about it.
Well, guess what? This time, rules are meant to be broken. I am taking Austin Eckler over the 18 surgeries every single year. Christian McCaffrey broke, and nobody can fix it. McCaffrey. I'm going Austin Eckler all day long. There's an exception to every rule. And no, for everybody listening, I'm not racist. It just happens to be that way every single time. It's stupid. I don't know why. but it always
Let's
happens.
go.
When Debo pointed that out to me a couple years ago, I about died. It's so true. I don't know why, but it just always happens.
Like,
Hey.
is there a little racist?
Rules are
Am
meant
I
to be
racist?
broken.
I hope not.
Like the video.
Hold on, I got you, boys.
All right, we got.
Don't you dare put Blue Doors racist.
Don't put it up.
Don't do
All right, next.
All right, number 3. Devontae Adams. All right, number 3 is Devontae Adams or the story of last season, Debo Samuel.
Okay, I'll go first. I think I don't know, man. I think I got to go with who has more weapons here. Devontae Adams. Okay, I think the Raiders are going to win that division because they have a really good team. They have a good defense. They picked up some good pieces. At the end of the day, man, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. You even got the tight end who's really good. I can't think of his name. But there's a lot of weapons, and then you got Josh Jacobs out the backfield with Derek Carr. I don't know, man. I got to go Debo. I think with Trey Lance now with less weapons, but Debo. I mean, this guy's what? He's a hybrid, running back, receiver. He can do it all. So I think Debo. I think Debo at a flex spot is ridiculous. I think he's good. So, all right, that's mine. Blue, what you got?
I'm gonna go with. It hurts me to say, but I can now give him the credit he deserves because he's no longer a Green Bay Packer. Because the Packers are just the worst franchise in the history of sports behind the New York Yankees. But I'm going to go with Devontae Adams. I think him and Derek Carr have that connection from college. I think they know each other very, very well. I think he's going to be the primary target. And I think the other guys are just going to be compliments to Devontae Adams. But I think with him on the field and his 9 different breaks out of his cut that he knows how to do, I think he's going to be the best receiver potentially this year of all of them. I think he's going to be incredible. What about you, Debo?
I mean, you obviously see my name.
Oh.
You obviously see my name. You know who I'm going to go with.
I feel that.
My boy Debo, I mean, he's out here. He's a bully. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's probably going to get more touches on average, I feel like, a game than Devontae Adams will just because they use him in so many different ways. You never know. You might see Debo throwing a couple touchdowns this year. Might be getting you some fantasy points all over the field.
Yeah, I would.
All right, fair enough.
You boy Debo. You got to go with Debo.
I didn't want to pick him for that sole purpose.
This one, I think, is going to be personally my favorite one. Because I never know what to do. At the tight end position, I never know what to do. When it comes down to these two, I never know who to pick. We got George Kittle or Darren Waller. Those two are always put side by side in every league. Who are you guys going with?
Depends on who they're playing on.
I think Darren Waller's going to catch a lot more passes than George Kittle is. George Kittle is not passing tight end. Yeah, he is. But he's in there for run block. That's his best quality is him. He can run block. But now he's an amazing pass catcher too. I just picked Debo. So I want to go with Darren Waller on the other side. I think when you're playing, the 49ers, your first priority is going to be Debo. But because of everywhere you can put him and stuff, Darren Waller, you can have him too, man. He can go out to wide receiver. He can come in and block. Darren Waller's one of those guys. He can be everywhere too. So I think I got to go Darren Waller. But it's a really good pick though. Either way, you're not going to mess up. George Kittle's a great tight end. I have him on my team. He's one of my tight ends, and yeah, I give it to Darren Waller if healthy. I know that there's some questions right now, but he's healthy. Darren Waller.
This is a tough one for me. I'm gonna have to give it to Darren Waller, man. Especially this year, it'll be with that addition to Devontae Adams, that should clear up a lot of room for him to get open more. They're gonna have to key in on his teammates now a lot more. So it should give him room to definitely flourish more in that offense for sure. So I'm gonna have to go with not Devontae, but Darren Waller.
All right, this is tough for me as well. You got George Kittle. It basically comes down to new quarterback in the 49ers with a scheme that likes to run the ball more than pass versus Darren Waller, who has 19 different weapons there. You got Renfro, Adams, Waller. I can't even name the rest of them.
I know your answer.
I know it too.
You're going to say George Kittle. Probably because
no, he's gonna say Darren Waller.
I was gonna say he's gonna go George Kittle because he's a Big Ten guy, Iowa guy, and he's got a Minnesota guy throwing to him at quarterback this year.
Hold on, don't you ever say that I'm gonna take somebody from the Iowa Hawkeyes? Ever?
They're Big Ten. I'm taking Big Ten over it. It don't matter if it's Big Ten versus SEC in a national championship. I'm taking Big Ten.
I feel that, but there's no way. I'm going Darren Waller because they throw the ball more and they have more opportunity to get the ball. I think George Kittle. I mean, I just think they run the ball too much, and I don't think Trey Lance is ready. I'm as big of a Trey Lance guy as anybody because he's from Marshall, Minnesota, an hour down the road from where me and Debo grew up. He's right by us. But I got to go Darren Waller. All right. This is kind of a fun one. Would you guys rather have a tight end in your league or two flexes, take the tight end slot out and have a second flex in your league? That's kind of the new fad going on right now. It's two flexes or a tight end slot. What would you rather have?
I like two flexes, and you can put a tight end in there. Because most tight ends today, most of them just play receiver.
It's flex.
You know what I'm saying? There's not really. You don't see many differences between the tight end spot and the wide receiver spot nowadays. They both block. They're both passing. Because the tight end position has changed so much over the past few years.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome to see. I think it makes the game more fun. I think two flexes. You get another position in there. Let's get two guys. Because, dude, let's be honest. How many elite tight ends are in this league? Only a handful.
Right.
Okay? Not everybody can get an elite tight end. There's gonna be someone in your league who gets a tight end who is not good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Instead, do two flexes, have a tight end, and be able to put a different receiver in there who you would like.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, if it's a PPR league, definitely two flexes. You can get an extra receiver in there, extra running back that catches out of the backfield or something like that. Definitely.
Absolutely. Unless the running back's David Montgomery, then I don't want him. But
I have a question for you guys though. Have you guys ever been in a league where you pick all defensive players too? Yeah. Those leagues are kind of fire, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I have a friend who did. He loved it. He said it was great.
They're fire.
Absolutely, definitely. And the last one here of this segment, this thing's gonna be probably the most controversial. At the top of the QB rankings, we have Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, buddy.
Y'all can go first.
I gotta go with the light skin wizard. You already know. I gotta go with my boy. I guess I don't really understand how fantasy works for quarterback scoring, but I gotta go with Mahomes. I gotta go Mahomes. I don't know, bro. Josh Allen's fire though. This is a 50-50. I'm just going with Mahomes just because I like him more. Real talk.
Yeah.
Dylan?
I like them both. I was at the game when Josh Allen, his rookie season, came to Minnesota and hurdled over Anthony Barr. That's probably one of the coolest plays I've ever seen a rookie quarterback make.
Definitely.
I like Josh Allen.
You better say Josh Allen.
Launch tail guy. All the hype around Buffalo. Yeah. Everybody. He's crazy. It's crazy. It's popping. Stephon Diggs, ex-Viking is there. But Patrick Mahomes' dad played for the Minnesota Twins. I gotta pick with the legacy. I gotta go Patrick Mahomes too, baby. Patrick Mahomes, coached by my man Cliff Kingsbury. I go with Patrick Mahomes all day long.
Let's go.
I pulled out the history books on that one, boy.
Landon, that's okay. You can breathe, dude.
Josh Allen is about to win MVP. Okay. Patrick Mahomes lost his number one guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Who is he going to throw? Who's Patrick Mahomes throwing to, Debo?
Well, there's Scantling, Debo's boy.
Everyone.
Hold on. Don't. First of all, he's got Valdez Scantling. Dude from University of South Florida, 6'4", 4'3", can take the top off of defense. Got him. Plus, you forget that the Chiefs got Justin Ross in as a free agent because of his whole neck condition. He's probably gonna ball, and then apparently Sky Moore has been the truth in camp so far. So I mean, I don't know. He's got a lot of weapons. Plus Travis. Hey, you got Killer Trav still there. Killer Trav's out there.
That's my boy.
I can tell you why Sky Moore looks like a tree. Probably because he's playing against the Chiefs secondary. That's probably why he looks good.
Even in camp against other teams, he was torching other teams.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. When I look at the Chiefs starting offense, right here, Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is running back.
Straight out of LSU.
LSU.
Bum. And
Travis
Kelce's the second best side in the league. He's good, but now he's the number one threat. Everyone's gonna watch him. Okay, that's done. Let's look at the side. You take out the top receiver and look at the rest of them. Okay, Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think he's it. Okay,
him and Jackson are gonna be making the best TikToks this season.
Yeah,
just putting that out there.
Yeah, more. The fact here's what hurts me. You were gassing up Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And the first thing you say is, but they have Valdez Scantling.
Valdez Scantling's a stud. He's a stud.
That's Debo's guy.
Let's look at the last 3 playoff games for the Green Bay Packers. With Aaron Rodgers, what has he done? Let's see. They lost to the 49ers. Before that, lost to who? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before that, it was the Rams. The only reason they beat the Rams is because that was the Devontae Adams game. That was a game where Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams were just not going to get beat. But it was those games where, Tampa Bay, all teams did was double team. And Valdez Scantling is not a number 2 guy. He's just not. Who's the number 2 guy? Who's the
Justin
one receiver?
Ross.
Who's
Justin
the
Ross.
number 2 guy in the NFL? Justin Ross.
Watch him ball out. Watch him ball out. He was a baller at Clemson. He was way better than T. Higgins. He was way better than T. Higgins at Clemson.
Devin Singletary out of the backfield. They have receivers that we don't even know yet. But Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs, probably the top 5-1-2 in the whole league.
Unless you played Madden or you're a football head, you didn't know who Gabriel Davis was last year until he caught 4 touchdowns.
I didn't know who he was until I watched the playoff game against the Chiefs.
Exactly. You know why he had that good of a game though? Is because Tyrann Mathieu was having to slide down and cover their other weapons like Diggs and those dudes.
Where's Tyrann Mathieu at?
In his hometown, baby, in New Orleans. What you mean?
Yeah, you know what's about to happen? Tom Brady's about to give it to him in division play.
Hey, all I'm saying, Tom Brady is
going to be MVP. But he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
The entire NFL is so lucky that Aaron Rodgers did not go to San Francisco, his home team, because he would have dog walked the entire NFL.
I would have loved that. I would have absolutely loved
the most talented quarterback this year in football. Not the best, most talented quarterback this year, Josh Allen. He has the outside of Lamar and Kyler, probably one of the best runners. The dude is freaking huge. Okay? He has the best arm in football.
No.
That's in football.
You talking about strength? You talking about strength wise, like throwing deep ball? Is that what you mean? Are you talking about Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT at putting balls anywhere, bro? Aaron Rodgers is the best ball thrower of all time. Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's got the rings. That's cool. Aaron Rodgers is the best ball thrower of all time. I don't care what anybody says.
You think Aaron Rodgers is the better passer than Tom Brady?
Yes, 100%.
We're gonna get
Tom Brady is the master of preparation. Tom Brady is the most prepared quarterback. But if you look, bro, watch Aaron Rodgers throw the ball. When he throws it, it flies through the air different. That man throws wizards of balls. He's got ayahuasca flying through the air in his balls. And you think Tom Brady has to deflate him just to get him there.
Aaron Rodgers is on perks every game. He just admitted a couple days ago.
So nothing wrong with a 30 here and there.
To dominate on perks, that dude. I mean, he deserves third MVP. But in all seriousness,
hey, what's wrong? My knee.
We're talking about fantasy, Debo, and you're making me have to defend Tom Brady.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
But you cannot say Tom Brady is not the best passer. He's not the best at accuracy. He doesn't have the best D-ball. He's the best player of all time. But the only thing he's the best at is preparation.
He is the best. And look at Bill Belichick.
He's the best pocket passer in the history of football.
No, he's not.
Not even close.
No, he's not. Hey, look at Aaron Rodgers' touchdown interception ratios. Aaron Rodgers is the most efficient. Even Bill Belichick, they asked him what makes Tom Brady great. First word out of his mouth, preparation. He literally, the way he watches film, the way he understands people's tendencies, knows what people are doing, he is the best. But when you look at him throw a ball, he does not throw that ball like Aaron Rodgers. But I forgot we were talking about fantasy, so that's my fault. I forgot we're living in this fantasy.
The question was Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
I put respect on Tom Brady's name. I trust me.
I'm just sitting here like, how does this get to that point?
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, there's one that separates them, and that's that. Has Tom Brady had better teams than Aaron Rodgers? Yes. But when Aaron Rodgers has had the teams, the last 2 seasons had the 1 seed, and he hasn't got it done.
Their defense is dog water, though. Last year, their defense was good, but before that,
their run that playoff game against the Niners, they did great against the Niners.
Last year or the year before?
Last year with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
When Aaron Rodgers it was at a playoff game at home in the snow against Jimmy G.
The reason
Aaron Rodgers couldn't get it done.
The reason they looked so good last year defensively is because Raheem Mostert was out, so that was a big part of that. The year before, Raheem Mostert had like 200 yards from scrimmage before they even touched him, on average.
And this is a division. That's a division round playoff game. Tell me a division round game in the last 10 years which Tom Brady didn't get it done, where he couldn't move the ball.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. If Aaron Rodgers would have done the same thing and went to the 49ers, we'd probably be having the same conversation. Aaron Rodgers hasn't left. He's made do with it. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All right, now back to our regular scheduled programming here. Let's get back to this here, boys. All right, we'll get into the GOAT debate end of the season.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Go. Now we're gonna break down. We're gonna finish this. We're gonna finish this broadcast with the college football picks of the week. I got 10 games here. We're gonna get everybody's take on who's gonna win each game. But we're not just going to do who's going to win each game. That's too easy. We're going to do the spreads. Who's going to win over under each spread? We're going to do it all. First game, Memphis goes to Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a 16-point favorite. Landon, what do you think? Mississippi State's minus 16.
They get 2.
Memphis.
Oh, Mississippi State. Same quarterback. Same system. That air raid offense is dangerous. You go Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Do you think the spread's going to be? Do you think they're going to cover? Do you think Mississippi State's going to cover or no?
We'll cover.
They'll cover 16.
We'll cover. Yeah.
That way. So Mississippi State's minus 16, right?
So that means they win by 17.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
All right. I agree. I think Mike Leach is too good a coach. I don't even know a thing about Memphis, but I think Mike Leach is ready to go week 1. Their rate offense will put up 40 points like they normally do. Probably give up 20, but they'll put up 40. Thursday night, tomorrow night, I think West Virginia goes to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is -6.5, 6.5 point favorite. Debo, who do you got? Is Pittsburgh going to cover? West Virginia going to cover? Or is West Virginia going to win outright? What do you got, Debo?
So with betting, so West Virginia's favored or they're not favored?
No, they're the underdog. They're a 6.5 point underdog.
So if they win it all, they cover, or they have to win by a certain amount?
Pittsburgh has to win by 7 points for Pittsburgh to cover.
I think Pittsburgh is going to get. I think they're not going to do good. I think
West Virginia.
I think West Virginia is going to smoke.
Not only going to cover the spread. West Virginia is going to win the game.
I think they'll do both. Or I mean, yeah, I think West Virginia's winning.
You'll get there. All right. Let's do this.
Who you got, Debo? Who you got, Landon?
West Virginia. I said it earlier in the podcast. I think that West Virginia's got some good guys. I don't know, but
Pitt's going to struggle without Pickett.
I'm going to go with JT Daniels, is a really good quarterback. The guy from USC last year, not buying him. Got to go West Virginia.
Is this JT Daniels' third school or second school?
Second.
I think it's just Georgia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He wasn't somewhere before that?
JT Daniels lost his job to Stetson Bennett, so that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
But
all right, next.
Louisville goes to Syracuse. Louisville is a 4.5 point favorite on the road. I personally still have Louisville beating Syracuse. I think Louisville's going to have. I think they're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with that pick.
What do you think, Debo?
Repeat that one. I was looking JT Daniels up real quick. Repeat that one more time. Sorry.
Louisville on the road is a 4.5 point favorite against the Syracuse Orange.
I'm gonna take Syracuse, bro.
Yeah. Syracuse on the really? You pick Syracuse?
Yeah. I don't even know who Louisville.
You got him to win outright, or you got him to?
Is Malik Reed Louisville's? Who's their quarterback?
That's a good question. It's still the same kid from last year, isn't it?
I don't know his name. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Anyway.
Malik Cunningham.
That's
okay.
what it is, Cunningham. Yeah.
Okay. It's 4.5.
Yeah, they got to win by 5 points.
Louisville.
I think so too.
Louisville.
Now we're getting into the games that I like. Here we go. I'm pretty hyped about this game, although I do think it might be a blowout, but we'll see. TCU goes to Colorado without Gary Patterson, who's been their coach for years. I still think TCU is going to win, but they got to cover 14 points. I think Colorado does not let them cover. I think Colorado at least loses by 13.
Same thing here. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they have a new system. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
By the way, JT Daniels is his third school. He started off at USC. He was USC, then Georgia.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I have feelings about it, man. I don't be wrong. Yeah.
All right. Penn State at Purdue. Penn State is a 3.5 point favorite.
Penn State. I like Penn State to get that and cover. I think they're about like 13. I know it's at Purdue, and that's tough. They're just coming off kind of a disappointing season.
Jeff Braun versus James Franklin.
Penn State was a good team last year. Had some quarterback issues on offense. Had a really, really good receiver, though. Penn State.
You got to watch out for assistant coaches at Penn State. They'll get you. But I really do think that Penn State's going to cover. I think Penn State's going to be I think they're going to be a brand new team than they were a year ago. Landon, I'm glad you caught that. I'm really happy you caught that, Landon.
What did you do?
I'm happy you stuck it in there. Go ahead, Debo.
No, what'd you say? I didn't even.
Debo didn't get it. I said you got to watch out for Penn State assistant coaches. They'll really get you. But,
all right. Debo.
Oh. Oh, that's messed up.
All right.
I'm taking Penn State, even though, their assistant coaches are a little wild out there.
Yeah, you got to watch out for them.
I like when Penn State's good. Hopefully they do good this year.
All right. Florida State goes to LSU, and LSU the 2.5-point favorite. I think Brian Kelly's going to smoke them. I think they win by a touchdown. I got LSU covering, winning by a touchdown.
Okay, I know that Florida State, and this is honestly, I think LSU. I was going to put it on my lock list. I like it a lot. Florida State just beat a really bad team by a lot. At the end of the day, if you see what Florida State did, they ran the ball. Brian Kelly's going to have the run game down. He's going to stop the run. It's going to be, can Florida State pass the ball against a good SEC school? Answer to that question is no. LSU 2.5, they're going to win and cover the spread. Might be 17-20, somewhere in there.
Defense always starts off better than offense, and SEC defenses don't play. And I think they're going to absolutely demolish them. Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
Don't roll and then go Tigers. All right. Clemson goes to Georgia Tech. Clemson's an 18-point favorite. Landon, who you got? You think Clemson's going to cover?
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech losing Jamar Gibbs, who was the best running back in the ACC last year, potentially the best running back in the SEC this year. I gotta go with Clemson 18.5. Clemson winning.
I don't know if you guys can tell at home, but Landon's kind of an Alabama fan. I don't know if you can tell, maybe a little bit. But.
I mean, it's 2022. Georgia Tech's got to stop running the collarbone offense.
I don't think a team who runs the wing tee is going to cover everything. That's just me, but
yeah, no kidding. I got Clemson covering for sure. This next game has the opportunity to be the game of the week. I'm looking forward to watching it. Cincinnati goes to Arkansas. We talked about it a little bit. Arkansas is a 6.5-point favorite. I love Luke Fickell. I think Luke Fickell is gonna at least keep it close. I do think Cincinnati's gonna keep in this game. I really do. I know Arkansas looked good, but I watched Georgia. I was at the game when Georgia smoked them. I think Arkansas I don't think they're gonna get done. Sam Pittman's not good enough. I got Luke Fickell over Sam Pittman.
Let it be known, people. Dylan Blue is fading our parlay. He's not riding with Arkansas 6.5 against Cincinnati. I'm telling you right now, Cincinnati's biggest weakness was they could not stop the run last year. Losing both their corners and their quarterback, you think they're going to stop a running quarterback, KJ Jefferson? I don't think so. Arkansas 6.5 is the move. I'm going to ride with it. And
you want my touchdown?
We'll rub it in Blue Orange's face.
I think that's going to be the game of the week. I really do.
Honestly, I think it's going to be Oregon, Georgia.
We're getting to that. We're getting to that one. Debo, who you got?
No. What was their opponent? What was Arkansas's opponent for this game?
Cincinnati goes to Arkansas, 6.5-point favorite.
I'm going to Arkansas. Arkansas pretty much rolls everybody, except for when they play SEC schools. When they play like non-SEC schools, they do pretty good. So I'm going to have to go Arkansas.
Yeah, Darren McFadden's going to get them going this year.
Rakeem Boy. All right. Rakeem Boy.
The second best game of the week in my mind is going to be Utah goes to Florida, and Utah's only a 1.5-point favorite on the road. What do you think, Debo? Pac-12 or SEC? Kyle Whittingham. I think he's a dog.
Utah or Utah Utes? Like which one?
The Utes, Utah.
Well, that's Utah State. That's not Utah.
No, Utah.
No, the Utah Utes are.
And then Utah State's the Aggies.
Utah State plays Alabama.
Gee, okay, well that's not gonna end well.
Yeah, it's like a 36.5-point favorite or something crazy.
35.5.
35.5. Yeah.
I've been watching the spread every day. Yeah. I know it's gonna change. It's already changed a lot.
We'll have to go Utah. I don't even really know anybody that plays on Utah, to be honest, but I'm going to go with Utah just because.
It's a good pick. I think Utah wins covers. Florida's not that team. Yeah. But we'll see. They have a good quarterback, and that changes everything.
Utah's always – I feel like they're a slept-on school, but like –
every year.
Yeah.
Who's Florida's quarterback? They just got somebody, didn't they? It's not the same guys last year.
Number 15, the Richardson guy.
Is it still him?
Will
I
Greer.
thought they got a transfer.
They had that quarterback battle last year from the two guys.
Yeah, Emory Jones and him, but I could have sworn they did a transfer coming this year.
Emory's still there?
No, he left. He's somewhere else. I think he's ASU's quarterback. I think he's their quarterback.
Really?
Yeah. Because Jaden Daniels left or went somewhere else, or NFL or something. I don't remember. All right. The final game. The Oregon Ducks go to the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia I got him at a 17-point favorite. Will Oregon cover? Landon Stidham.
Bo Nix is at Oregon?
Yeah.
No, that's in Atlanta. It's a neutral site game in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's neutral site?
It's Georgia home.
Tells you how much I know about football. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell the people I don't like Stetson Bennett. It's personal. Like, I'll be honest. I don't like Stetson Bennett.
Which one do you like better, Landon? I'm curious. Which one do you like better?
I hate this game. If there's any way both quarterbacks lose, I would do it. Don't like Bo Nix. Don't like Stetson Bennett. And, okay, I'm sure they're both great guys. I just don't like them. They both beat Bama. Don't like them. Yeah, both lunch pail guys. But at the end of the day, when I look at them,
sneaky athletic
teams, I got to go with the reigning champs. I think Georgia's good enough to get it done, especially against Oregon. And basically a home game. I think they had the best tight end room in the country, maybe one of the best we've seen in a very, very long time. I think they have 3 pro tight ends and probably the best pass catcher in the country, Bowers. Bowers is good, man. Oh, this again? Is that what we're doing? Well, yeah, I'm taking Georgia to win and cover the spread. I think it's going to be a beatdown. We've seen Bo Nix move the ball against Georgia before, but can he do it at Oregon? We'll see.
Yeah. What do you think, Debo? Will Georgia cover? I don't think they're going to cover, but go ahead.
I'm going to have to go with my boy Stetson Bennett, Just going to have to go with him. After that national championship winning post-game interview, like the following morning, he showed that he can take some wear and tear and keep it rolling. So
every time we talk about the Natty, I'm just gonna have something in my head, so I ain't gonna listen to it.
National championships. That's what they have down in Georgia from last year.
All right, I think 100%. I think Georgia. I don't think they'll cover, but I think Georgia will win the game. I think they'll win by like 14 or so. But I do not think that Georgia will cover. That's my take on it. Yeah. What do you think, boys? What do you think of the first show?
I think it was good. I think as long as everybody knows that Bama's winning the national championship and no one's going to get close, we're good. We're all agreed. I think a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I'm glad we get to do this together, guys. Had fun on the podcast. Let's keep it going. And we got a long season ahead, a fun season. And I'm going to go on the record and say this. If Alabama loses a game this year, I'm going to get torched on this podcast. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I'd say.
Do you guys think I have one more question before we go that I wanted to ask earlier. Do you guys think that Spencer Rattler, you think he's a good quarterback? Or, you think what happened at Oklahoma was, lack of, preparation or not knowing what was going on? Or do you think, he just, doesn't have it?
I think he's talented. I think he's an absolute jerk, though. I know everything came out. You've seen the videos, all this stuff, but it sounds like he's just an absolute, he's just a terrible. I think he's a terrible leader, and that he puts people down. I don't want to deal with that if I was part of the team. And then he got around a bunch of guys that are as good as him, and I think it's put up or shut up. I don't think he proved it. He's a heck of an athlete, but I don't think he's that good. I think South Carolina is a good move for him to kind of to reboot and get back, but I really don't think he's going to ever be the Spencer Rattler that we think he can be. I don't think he'll ever be that ever again.
Man, sometimes losses are opportunities, especially when you're a Bama fan and we lose games.
Like the national championship.
It's always opportunities. But even watching the NFL, man, you see teams. I remember the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a couple years ago were 7-5. Coming off of some very bad losses against the Chiefs, and you watch them turn it around. Even last year with the Rams, had a bad stretch, they got whooped at home against the Titans, and they were able to turn it around. A guy like Spencer Rattler, the best thing that could have happened for him was for him to be so hyped up and lose his starting position.
True.
Now you have an opportunity. He's under a really good coach in Beamer. I think everybody in this room likes him.
Shane Beamer's a great coach.
Great guy, great coach. We love South Carolina. I mean, South Carolina was a team that flew under the radar last year, but they had some fun games near the end. I mean, they beat Florida, and Florida was not a bad team last year. They were not great. They were not terrible. They had a decent team. Now, SC standards, they were bad. College football standards, they were an okay team. I'm looking for South Carolina to win a few games this year in the SEC and cause some trouble. But here's the thing, with Spencer Rattler, he has a good opportunity to show who he is. I don't think a transfer to the SEC was a good move. But with a guy like Beamer, you never know. The kid's got talent. We know that. He's good. He's an athlete. Can he be a leader? We'll see.
We'll wait and see.
I like that. That was a good answer.
Absolutely. He's a professional. He's a professional.
Everybody is now. NIL, everybody's professional.
All right. Closing remarks, Steve-O. Do you have any closing remarks you want to throw in before the end of the show?
Yeah, I just wanted to say 33-18, 17 for 26 completions, 224 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Who are you talking about? Oh, boy.
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett. Landon, rebuttal. Do you have any closing remarks you want to throw in?
It's okay. I understand you can't win them all unless you're Alabama and you lose once. I mean, it's okay. The Georgia hasn't beat us, and it's the first championship since 1980. They needed it. I like Kirby. I like Kirby a lot. Kirby's a great coach. Georgia's going to get to that level of Bama. They're not there yet. They're just not. You win one championship, you're not there. Okay? Clemson was there, but everybody's like, I don't think so anymore. With Alabama, the guys that had the past few years at quarterback, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac, Bryce, they've always had the guy. We're going to see if Stetson Bennett's that guy who can get it done in back-to-back years. Okay? If Bama and Georgia play this year, mark my words, it's not going to be close. It's going to be a massacre. If Alabama has Jamison Williams, if they have John Mechie, if the O-line is healthy, if our running back room is healthy, if everyone is healthy, we beat Georgia. Because listen, Bama had a lot of trips to red zone last year. They just didn't complete on it. It was lack of execution. Bryce Young's running for his life. We got freshman receivers out there. But at the end of the day, Georgia played a great game in the second half and won. You got to give them credit for that. There's a lot of games that Bama, a couple of years ago, when Bama comes back in the second half and beats Georgia. Georgia played a great ball game, man. And you got to respect teams who can win by beating you. Did they beat Bama? Yes. I hated people were hurt. That's my excuse I can use now. But outside of that, Georgia played a great game and they won. They played against the guys who was in front of them. I hate it, but kudos to them, man.
Heck yeah.
No,
thank you.
At least your team didn't lose in Northwestern.
Now, if it was Auburn, I wouldn't give them that respect. But Georgia, they can have it.
Hey, at least your team didn't lose in Northwestern. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
It's rough out here for Husker fans. It's
everybody knows. Minnesota. That logo was Nebraska last week. This week it's Minnesota, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, they're a 36-point favorite this week. They blow this one, Minnesota State, then I'll burn this shirt.
Minnesota's not a lot, guys, just so we know. That's why.
Yeah, they're not a lot.
Hey, Nebraska plays NDSU coming up, right?
No, UND, North Dakota.
No, they do not play. They play UND.
UND, they don't play NDSU. I'm pretty positive.
Will Compton got me hyped up. I thought they were playing North Dakota State. He's like, they're going to dog walk NDSU. And I was like, I don't know about that one.
They play UND on Saturday.
Okay, yeah, they're going to dog walk you. They lose to UND. Oh, bro, if they lose to those guys, that's bad.
Yeah, I know. But then they got Oklahoma coming to town after that.
Well, boys, it's been fun.
Pretty good, boys. Well, hey, for all the listeners at home, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, we will be going. We'll be posting for you guys. Like and subscribe these videos. More content to come. Thank you, boys, for being on here, and enjoy. Go.
All of our social medias will be in the description. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
Absolutely. Hey, boys. What a day. We're starting on this journey. I cannot wait. This is going to be a wild football season and a wild year to come, boys. Let's have fun.
Welcome to the fan cave.
Let's do it.
Yes,
Fan cave.
sir.